Myself and many other people have taken quite a bit of heat for saying that Sucker Punch deserves the benefit of the doubt on this one. They deserve the opportunity to tell a story that they want to with Ghost of Tsushima's follow-up, Ghost of Yotei. I seen the announcement trailer at that, Sony State of Play, and I thought, that's pretty good, okay? We've also heard from Sucker Punch, and they seem on the level. This isn't one of those cases where, no, we needed to stick a chick in it, we needed to make it lame. No, we wanted to tell this story. This was the correct character to put in the game. It's set 300 years in the future. Jin Kasai's story can stay Jin Kasai's story. We're just out here wanting to continue on the story of the ghost and how it can continue throughout feudal Japan. Nothing denigrating the original material at all. They're just super excited about what comes next, and I think that's fine. Sucker Punch has done absolutely nothing to make you think that they would go ahead and delve deeper and deeper into the insanity that a large portion of the industry has, but to be completely honest, I see where the other side of this conversation is coming from. You see a traditionally masculine character get replaced for a chick, and you've seen this stuff time and time again, and then when you figure out who is behind the character, you see this insufferable side-shaved feminist with awful beliefs. Yeah, we've been here before, brah. But guess what? I've also been here before, too. Remember this little show called House of the Dragon? Remember how people were having some hang-ups on the first season? It's like, oh my god, it's off the back of season 8 of Game of Thrones. I'd argue that I went back even further than that, even further than a lot of people will recognize, because some people are at least copping out to, season 7 wasn't very good. And season 6 didn't really make a lot of sense, but at least some of the battles look good. I would say episode 10 of season 4, but hey, don't worry about any of that stuff. That's totally fine. But, oh, God, and then you take a look at the cast. It's like, okay, Matt Smith could be good. But you race swap the Sea Snake. You got this non-binary chick playing Rhaena Targaryen. Like, what are you guys doing out here? You're ruining everything. And then we've seen the product, and it's like, pretty damn good. God damn it, there was not really all that much identity politics outside of the post-game interviews and episode 9. And yeah, well, you might see a step down in quality of season 2 outside of one character and a few flumpy decisions. In general, the quality is still there. Yeah, I understand. I understand the trepidation, and normally I'd be on your side, but here's the thing. You can separate the art from the artist. You can separate the side shave from the character, because here's another thing. You can take a look at, Hollywood again on this one. Some of my favorite movies have some gigantic head cases. Like I said before, like Skyfall. I like Skyfall. I like Casino Royale. It's one of my favorite movies ever. Daniel Craig is a bitch. Okay, when it comes to gangster flicks, brother, there is a couple names that are synonymous with this. Al Pacino, I don't know his politics, and that's fantastic. Hope to keep it that way. But who else is synonymous with gangster flicks? All right, a little guy called Robert De Niro and Trump. I want to punch him in the face. He's an idiot. He's an absolute idiot. So it doesn't take away from the fact that I love Goodfellas. Casino's great. Heat, a lot of people like it. I think that it's, vastly overrated. Just run down the list of things, man. Just because an actor, a voice actor, hell, even some creatives are a bit of a nutcase, what do they produce? What's their art look like? That's the conversation that I want to have. But also, you gotta recognize the red flags when they start to manifest, because like I said, man, Sucker Punch as a studio, as the game, looking simply at the art that they put out, done some good stuff. But it's also been a minute, right? You got Grums pointing out some things here. Okay, yeah. Top 3 things you should never do if you want your AAA to be a success according to history. Hire a militant woke activist who hates half your audience as your protagonist, which, yeah, here we go. Just a few of her select tweets, and I'm sure we'll go through some of that stuff. And then her also looking at Pokemon, which is another story we'll have to get into probably next week, and what they're doing, Nintendo. You're not exactly ingratiating yourself right now. Like, between the necessary lawsuit against Pal World and now hiring a DEI yoga coach consultant, like, what the hell are you guys doing? But, looking at Pokemon as which are the most bangable, talking about abolishing the police, and gotta be fair to those last 2 tweets right there, like, outside of obviously misconstruing what it means to be a Trump supporter, it's not really an attack the same way that you would find somebody like, say, Mark Hamill would levy against somebody of the MAGA variety. But then the last one, okay, a drunk guy got up and got up in my space at the arcade now, so single. Oh, while I was playing a rhythm game, I shouted, dude, if you bother me while I'm playing a game, I will, beat your, sure you will, but you're tiny. As my girlfriend and the theme Feudal walked up to flank me. I have no idea what that means. Haven't seen him since. Okay, you got hit on by a drunk guy when you're a very obvious lesbian if you didn't, or if you couldn't tell by the side shave, but, I don't necessarily think that that's a bad tweet at all. I don't know why I have to put it on the internet for, attention, but whatever. Yeah, getting hit on by a drunk guy, it's a bad experience, I suppose, especially when you're busy doing something. So, yeah, I don't think that's bad. I think you're trying to find stuff that's actually not there, if we're being honest, okay? But then also, yeah, you got people that are out there, and well, when I was looking through her tweets when she was announced, and I did it just before I did the video on the State of Play recap, and it's like I was looking through some of her tweets, and it's like, okay, yeah, she's a lesbian. I don't care. And she was just basically talking about, yeah, how her and her girlfriend were playing games. And it's like, okay, cool. So she's like actually a gamer. That's nice. Okay, cool. That's a refreshing breath of fresh air. That's redundant to say, but that was insufferable lesbian. But you also take a look at, the dates of a lot of these tweets. Some of the more egregious ones. Like, okay, March 27th, when she's talking about wanting to bang Pikachu. Even still, also can't help but notice that the article focused mostly on the mechanics of our game and not which Pokemon is the most bangable, which we spent far more time on in that episode, but fine, I guess more than just one, keep focused up on the important questions. Well, I don't know, that kind of sounds like it's potentially taken out of context, because there's some fun theoretical conversations that you can have. It's just, yeah, man, even still, okay, you can take the uncharitable interpretation. Maybe that is full context right there. She just simply wanted to talk about how she wants to amass a body count of 151, and we're just talking Gen 1. And now she really wants to get down with Lickitung. It's like, okay, cool, whatever. But we're digging up tweets from 2020, especially during the summer of love, where she's talking about how, oh yeah, Trump supporters are like real bad guys because they support stuff like this, even though just saying, reach across the aisle to Trump supporters and say the bad things are bad. And then, yeah, saying, oh my God, abolish the police that terrorize citizens. She just kind of sounds vacuous, if we're being completely honest. She kind of sounds like somebody who's just going to support the current thing, who goes along to get along so that she can get all of these jobs in the industry. I'm not saying that's good, and I would much rather have people that are independent-minded people, and even if she, believed all of this stuff, that if she could go ahead and stand up on her own 2 feet to say it. But yeah, preemptively blocking everyone, yeah, maybe because they've also seen a pattern of people cherry-picking tweets, but perhaps I'm doing a little bit too much work for, Erika here. Maybe she is just completely off her rocker. But Grum's, like, for as much as I use him as a source, there's some times where he deserves legit criticism, where sometimes he just goes completely off the deep end when it comes to calling out everything as woke. He was one of the people that said that, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was going to be woke because they censored Tifa for the 25th time. If I need to go ahead and debunk that, simply, no, those changes were made to make it more canonically correct, because there's a lot of stuff that you can decode from that ongoing storyline right there without getting into too many spoilers. They needed to make sure that everything lined up appropriately so that you weren't thinking that this was a different iteration from a different timeline or anything like that. So yeah, it's very important to maintain consistency over there. But no, some people say, oh, they covered up the cleavage of a 16-year-old and that means that the game has gone woke. Strange. Okay. Also didn't see you guys point out that they made some costume changes between Intergrade and Rebirth when it comes to Yuffie, another underage character. But hey, man, you guys don't need to point out everything. It's not like I'm looking for consistency. You just want to paint everything with a broad brush and just move on to something else if it doesn't pan out. Remember, Dead Rising Deluxe Remake. Oh, it's going to be a woke trash fire, and that's why the game hasn't sold well. Or maybe it was just nobody was really asking for a Dead Rising remake, and it kind of came out in the middle of nowhere and nobody really cared. Could have been that too. Maybe not everything that comes out of AAA is just entitled to sell millions and millions of copies. Maybe it's a little bit more nuanced than that. Maybe you have to take a little bit more look behind the scenes. Maybe instead of focusing on actors, you should probably take a look at, the dev team. And well, this is where it gets to be a little bit more indefensible, right? Because you have senior staff game designer on Ghost of Yotei pronouns in bio. Okay, not great. Not great. Another pronoun in bio, senior staff, character texture, dev, annoying, whatever, got a whole bunch of, goofy stuff in her profile. And another one, Andrew Goldfarb, used to work at, IGN and Gearbox. Oh, God, okay. Senior communications manager. Oh, so he's going to be the guy who's going to be delivering just the insufferable updates if there are going to be any. But then if you call him out for that, he'll just, throw up the obvious defenses. But hey, you can at least see that he's excited to announce Ghost of Yotei, so I guess that's a different break from what the blue hell is that? She, her, huh? Yeah, okay, I guess. But okay, let's play this game for a little while. Erika Ishii would have much rather Tomohiro, but thinks the police are white supremacists and supports trans ideology. It's like, okay, cool. Is she good at her job, though? Can we do that one? Sucker Punch, a subsidiary of PlayStation Studios, announced that their next title, Ghost of Yotei, a sequel to Ghost of Tsushima, and revealed the game's main character, Atsu, will be voiced by radical activist Erika Ishii. Okay? Yeah, also apparently modeled on her. I just argue that character model in a much different change of pace in the AAA industry actually looks better than the model. But anyways, Sucker Punch shared on X, we're thrilled that Atsu is played by the amazing Erika Ishii. Ishii is a radical activist who claims in her X bio that she uses all pronouns. It's like, again, I don't care. Maybe that's a Sony Studios thing. Maybe that's another one of those things that I missed where they're forcing radical ideology on you because, as we've seen from the Sucker Punch employees that are down there, they're more than willing to tell you how they identify. I just hope that you identify as a developer and you develop good games. Can we do that? That'd be great. Furthermore, Ishii is an activist that supports body mutilation. Okay, let's get more inflammatory, shall we? In June, she encouraged her followers on X to support for the Gwirls that targets black individuals to encourage, okay, whatever. She wrote on X, non-black folks looking to observe Juneteenth. Chop your dick off? That's kind of weird. Or just some of it because, they're like 30%. Anyways, black nonprofits often receive aid in boom or bust cycles. And this year, consider making a monthly pledge, whether you donate, volunteer, or commit to learning to join me in my quest of to be intentional and sustainable. I'm supporting, okay, all of that. None of that's really hateful. And frankly, a black trans collective that helps pay rent for and gender affirming surgery for. Yeah, I personally don't care about that stuff, and I don't think that makes her bad at her job. I'm not seeing the connection here. Ishii previously promoted the organization in 2023. Today, please consider supporting, this pathetic waste of money, obviously, but there's no derision here. She just supports this. I don't know what to tell you. That's what it is. Probably some shit that I support that you guys don't like. There's probably some takes like saying, oh, I don't know, Sony had a good conference this week and apparently doesn't resonate with people, but that's just my honest opinion. In 2023, ahead of Hogwarts Legacy release, Ishii appeared to support the failed boycott of the game due to J.K. Rowling's outspoken stance on transgender activists. Okay, maybe this is a little bit more inflammatory. I used to love Harry Potter. Yeah, went to every midnight release cosplay and even had a Harry Potter themed improv group. Now I'm happy to insist that we support and be a part of all fantasy narratives where all are welcome. Trans community, we deserve our own better magic. I'll always fight for that. She included a video of her stating F TERFs. Yeah, okay, that's kind of stupid. Muting, but wanted to reiterate trans rights are human rights. Yeah, it's stupid, but again, actors in general, yeah, they're kind of vacuous morons. And still, which rights are trans people looking for that humans don't have, and why are you trying to make that differentiation? These are the questions that could be asked as opposed to trolling her social media and trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. But bro, she's an insufferable leftist. I don't know what to tell you. Would I prefer her to be a little bit more enthusiastic about her getting casted and, getting the role of the lead in one of the biggest upcoming games and just simply making a couple of reposts of some fan art and one tweet about this? But yeah, I've dreamed of this my entire life, but I still can't believe I'm part of art like this. I am the Ghost of Yotei. Like, yeah, that's nice, I guess. Not nearly a patch on when, Matt Mercer, who, somebody who I probably don't have a lot of agreements with, how enthusiastic he was to, get the role of Vincent Valentine for the Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy. Like, okay, compare this, okay? You got Erika's couple of tweets, then you got Matt saying this.
I think my fondest memory working on this game was when I realized who I was playing. You know what we're doing here?
I know the game.
So we've got you playing some NPC characters and variety of different stuff, and it's pretty much just like you've done before. We'll play you the Japanese file. You just come in, just give me like 2 or 3 in a row.
They brought me in to record background voices, just a couple of random people in Nibelheim or whatever, and partway into the session, the screen began to glitch out.
That's weird. Doing something weird here. Hold on.
And it led to this weird black screen display into text of, what if you were playing a different character?
What the hell is this?
And so they revealed to me in session that I was actually there to record Vincent instead of these background characters.
No. Are you f***ing serious?
Oh man, I'm not gonna lie. This fucking means a lot to me.
And it kind of broke me in a beautiful way. I think that's going to be a particular memory I carry with me for a very, very long time.
See, the more I dig into what's going on behind the scenes of Rebirth and Remake and Reclaim, that's what I think the third one's going to be called. But anyways, the more I find great things about great people wanting to do even greater things with an IP. And yeah, I've stumbled across some stuff that made me roll my eyes. But in general, the work speaks for itself. So yeah, before I'm willing to say, guys, they're girl bossing Ghost of Tsushima, they made the game woke. Sure, there's some people that are out there that are running with that narrative, and yeah, you see the red flags and you're throwing them up. I understand. I totally get it. It's just, in my opinion, it's not warranted yet. We haven't seen the dots connect. Hell, we haven't seen gameplay. We haven't seen anything outside of a couple of beautiful cinematics, but that's about it. If we judged a game whether or not it was going to be great or on its initial introduction trailer, Watch Dogs 2013 would have been the greatest game of all time. So yeah, be trepidatious of Ghost of Yotei. That is within your purview. Be excited if you want. I'm just saying, we've seen this cycle before. We know ultimately what the AAA space is about, but for every Forspoken Square Enix will put out, they'll go ahead and put out a Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So your skepticism is warranted. I'm just saying, being skeptical goes both ways. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.